You had to make a big decision. Where does a tree live in your world? Look around and decide, there he is. Make them your friends.
Okay, everyone, settle down. I get it. You're excited to learn about the Etruscans. That's just the thing, but I just need to break the ice by saying It's a Conspiracy is a proud member of the Alberta Podcast Network, powered by ATB. Merrick, put the cat down. Merrick, put the cat down. Okay? Oh, man. For a list of other fun programming, please check out the albertapodcastnetwork.com, where you can find shows like Press Start to Join and Don't Trust the Left-Handed and Invisible Wizards. That's not, I wasn't being, trying to downplay Invisible Wizards. That's just that's the inflection of tone. For Invisible Wizards. Yeah. Okay. Merrick, that cat. Did you bring a cat here?
Welcome back, everyone, to It's a Conspiracy. This is the podcast where we lay out the beliefs blind. Welcome back, everyone, to It's a Conspiracy. This is the podcast where we lay out the beliefs behind selected conspiracy theories, alternative accounts, legends, myths, and more. I'm your host, Andrew, and I do not claim to be an expert on anything we're going to discuss today, and will probably be wrong about everything as usual because I have changed an extraordinary amount of diapers in the past few days.
More than just
more than normal, yeah. And more than just myself, that's right. So my son is using the potty about 4 times a day, which is great. But he's simultaneously filling his diaper 4 or 5 more times per day, which is horrific. And his new move is he'll use the potty. We'll get a fresh diaper on. We'll sing the diaper song. It's great. He lulls me into false bladder confidence. He takes off his pants. He poops a whole bunch, and then he sits down really hard. So the arterial spray goes out the leg holes and up the side of the couch. And it's terrible. Anyways, this is our art special.
Hey, Andrew, I'm super stoked that you decided to devote a whole special to Art Bell. That's amazing. I am very, very impressed.
Coast to coast.
Yeah, this is the Art Bell special.
That's what we're doing, right?
Art. I'm not saying that Art Bell is not art. He is a art, but the art, we're going to talk about other art.
So this is going to be a short episode then?
Yeah, no. If we could talk about Art Bell, a little bit. Charlie?
I'm going to have to redo my segment real quick.
Okay, all right. Charlie. Now, if you'd like to see where we dug up whatever sunflowers we're going to discuss today, then please Van Gogh check out the resources in the episode description. Charlie would love to be out watching sunsets and catching butterflies with his little net, but alas, so many links. Check them out. Check them out so his cursed sacrifices are validated. Lastly, we are a proud member of the Alberta Podcast Network, powered by ATB. ATB. Now, speaking of Van Gogh, did you guys know that he toyed with being a musician? The problem is he didn't really have the ear for it. Because he... Okay. You can check us out online at our website, itsaconspiracypodcast.com. Our Twitter, @isitaconspiracy, that's run by the Irish Madman. Our Facebook group, the Instagram, It's a Conspiracy Podcast, that's run by Gorgeous Greg. Our email, and our Patreon page, patreon.com/It's a conspiracy. Oh.
Whoa, that was fucking dope.
We're in a hall of illusions. Joining the online distance communication time today is Gorgeous Greg and Charming Charlie. These polite folk will interject as they see fit, and I do appreciate their digital distance company. Great. Now then, Charlie, with a yes or no, can you tell me if you've heard of either of these two theories?
Let's do it.
Okay. Number 1, 10 stolen... Oh, unreal. Phone goes off again. Sorry. Ready then, Charlie, with a yes or no? Can you tell me? Number 1, 10 stolen paintings.
No.
Okay. Number 2. Now this is funnier to read, so you'll have to. Okay. What's the deal with Da Vinci. Come on.
No, sir. That is
Okay.
not.
Now, I believe you have 2 theories that you would like to present.
I only have one theory, but it
What?
is 6 surreal specifics about Salvador Dali.
Ooh.
Do you know about that? Do you know about that?
I know he liked a big bowl of Surreal in the morning.
Oh, that's your best one yet, man. That's good. That's good.
There's a joke in here that is probably not going to make the episode. I'm just letting you guys know. It's really funny, and it's probably going to be just for you guys because I don't think I can. Okay.
You guys can buy that on our Patreon.
Here's subject number 1. 10 paintings that have been stolen at some point.
Hot damn.
If you watched on my show, then you know I have nothing new to give, and that makes me feel angry sometimes.
The Mona Lisa. Now, actually, Mona Lisa was arrested for loitering. Turns out she was framed. Okay, so that's Leonardo da Vinci, and it was stolen in 1911. The Mona Lisa, super famous painting of a sly-looking young lady, and she's maybe not a lady, and we're not judging, that's one of the theories, was stolen by a Louvre employee who hid in a supply closet and then waited for everyone to go home, snuck out, took it off the wall, ran out. This guy's name, this is amazing, his name was Vincenzo Peruggia, and he tried to sell the painting a few months later, got busted, arrested, went to prison, and the painting was back at the Louvre for its adoring fans who line up by the thousands to take pictures of it. Have you guys ever seen, it's just a wall of people, and they're all like, oh, snap, 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 of this tiny painting.
Tiny, right?
Yeah. Well, it's about the size of like the cover of a textbook.
You were saying it's just not worth it, eh?
Oh,
To, like,
man.
stand in line for 5 or 6 hours.
Yeah, to get that close to it, you just have to wade through all those people. And there's other stuff from Da Vinci right there on the wall, like beside it, that's just as interesting. But that's an opinion. Portrait of a young man. The artist is Raphael. It was stolen in 1939. Speaking of this, there's a lot of Ninja Turtle stuff coming up. So
Naturally.
the Ninja Turtles went to a store for some new things. Everybody got something except Raphael. They didn't have his size, because his little swords. Okay. Portrait of a young man painted in 1514 was a self-portrait of Raphael, however you say it, and it was stolen by those damned Nazis. It's never been recovered and is believed to be the most valuable bit of art in absentia from WW2. It's probably in an abandoned salt mine somewhere in Europe. So
Super salty.
Salty mine. Congregation leaving the Reformed Church in Anuen. This is painted by Vincent van Gogh. It was stolen in 2002. So now here we go. A friend walked up to Van Gogh at the town pub and said, "Hey, Vinny, can I buy you a beer?" And Vinny replied, "No thanks, I've got one right here." Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, here we go.
One right ear. Okay, in 1884, Van Gogh finished this Anuen, and I've got to be saying that wrong, and I apologize, painting, and it featured, just like the classic video November Rain by Guns N' Roses, an empty church in a sad-looking field. Then, 1885, his dear mother died, and the painting was modified, like the classic video Funeral by Band of Horses, to feature a congregation exiting the building dressed in mourning clothes. In 2002, the painting was stolen in a heavily coordinated armed attempt, like the classic video Sabotage from the Beastie Boys, and a Netherlandian task force. I don't know how to say Netherlands. Someone from the Netherlands. Are they Netherlandian?
Netherlandian? That works.
Netherish? Netherlandian.
Or do they Dens? Or, no, that'd be from Denmark. Never mind.
Yeah.
Danes?
That's Denmark? I don't know. We sound like idiots, right? I'm not sure.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, right now. That's the only.
That's the only time. Yeah.
Up to this point. Okay, the Netherland people who deserve respect put together a task force and to assemble for the painting. The painting was discovered, and they found out that it was stolen by people connected to the Italian mafia. So it was in Italy by some mafioso. In 2016, the painting was recovered, And like the classic video Seasons in the Abyss from Slayer, there was great rejoicing.
There's so many works of art you are mentioning, just one after another. And also, Dutch people.
Dutch people. Okay, good.
Oh, I was right when I said
So Van Gogh, more like Van Gone. Next one here, this is the concert by Johannes Vermeer, stolen in 1990. So first off, what kind of music do balloons hate? Pop music. Johannes Vermeer. I'm probably saying that wrong, and I'm not.
On your kids before, right? You're like, kids, let me try some new material out on you. Pop music, and they were just
let me throw 20 at them in 20 seconds. Get ready for it.
It's hard, man. When you have kids, something gets activated in you, and you're like, you don't want to tell this egg a joke because it might crack up. Yeah. Anyways, then they're like, "That's not funny." Just Anywho, Johann Vermeer. I'm probably saying that wrong, and I refuse to apologize. Painted a man and two women performing music for the love of performing music in a painting. It was stolen from the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum in Boston. I wrote down Boston, but I think it's Boston, in 1990. And it's never turned up. It's alleged to be worth about $200 million. So this is actually the most valuable missing painting in the universe.
Man, let me tell you, that right there is more than a feeling.
That that heist ended with 13 pieces of art taken, and it has never been solved. The value of the stolen pieces is estimated to be over $500 million. So that's a whole bunch of money. One other piece that was stolen in this same little sting was a self-portrait from Rembrandt. And this thing is interesting because he was just shy of his 30th birthday, and it's a self-portrait, but he didn't glorify himself at all. Like he's kind of pudgy, he's got scruffy hair, like he looks kind of tired, and just like a real serious
he didn't throw any Instagram filters on it. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. He wasn't posing for it.
It was just no makeup day or something.
It was no makeup day. It was just natural. Yeah. Interestingly, he gave himself not one, not two, but 3 mustaches in the picture. So one on his lip, one little mustache on his chin, which is strange. And then the brim of his cap is also having a mustache. Yeah. But the weirdest thing about this self-portrait was that it is only 1.75 inches wide by 2 inches tall. So it's just a little guy. Just a little picture. Just a wee little guy. And this is probably only our 5th or 6th. I said there was 10, but yep. The Scream by Edward Munch. Are you guys familiar with The Scream?
Love it.
Yeah.
This is like Robert Munch's cooler brother, or
I don't think they're related. Robert Munch.
The Munch family.
The Munch family, yeah.
But is that the one
Munch,
without?
That's the one. Oh, Greg just did it. Greg and Charlie both. Yeah, that's the one. You guys just did it.
Cool.
Now, before we get started, what is the name of the color that does the screaming? Yellow.
I was hoping you were going to say chartreuse or something.
Chartreuse. The Scream. What an odd painting. It has been referred to as the Mona Lisa of our time due to its totally mysterious vibe. People are looking at it and they're like, is this supposed to be funny? Is it scary? Is that a vampire? Like, what's going on here? It was stolen in 1994. The museum refused to pay the ransom, and the Norwegian police became Scream Force and retrieved the painting. Then, 2004, masked gunmen stormed the Munch Museum, and the Munch Museum sounds like a place for snacks, but it's like paintings of Munch and stories by Robert Munch, probably. And the painting was stolen again, and then in 2006, Scream Force retrieved the painting for a second time.
Yeah, I love how you bring Scream Force together. You just go like, Scream Force assemble!
Oh, jeez, here we go.
What have you got in there? All right. Now our last one here is kind of unique. So in 1996-ish, Greg was not born yet.
I was 5 years old.
So in 1996, Gustav Klimt, that's an awkward thing to say. Gustav Klimt, his painting Portrait of a Lady disappeared from the museum it was being kept in. So this theft was lamented for years, and it was reported in a number of articles discussing famous lost works. There's shows like there was the Missing Art on Netflix that was like a little series for a little while. And then oddly, just in December of 2019, which feels like about 8 years ago, but that was just a couple months ago. December 2019, while the museum was being renovated, the painting was found in an alcove across the hall from where it had been hanging when it was stolen. So it actually just somehow got across the hall and...
Damn it, Kevin just misplaced it and he forgot where he put it.
Kevin!
Or it was his last day and he was like, sucker, see you later.
On this clip.
So that's 10 stolen paintings. I don't think we did 10, but we had a damn good time, right? Mm-hmm. Subject number 2. What's...
Electric Boogaloo.
Oh.
It lives.
What's the deal with Da Vinci?
When I use that word violin, I love that word violin because I like to violin like this. I hate to...
Okay. Now let me set the scene for you guys. Jesus and... Stop you right there.
Woo!
I love it.
That's the joke that's not going to make it.
That's probably not going to be...
Let me stop you right there.
Yeah. You guys have seen Da Vinci Code, right?
Positive.
Yeah, Charlie?
Yep.
Okay, did you read the book?
Nope.
Oh.
I did. Oh, here we
All
fucking
right,
go.
so Charlie's rule, his steadfast rule of why would I watch the film of a book that I have ne'er read? Yeah, all right.
Oh, it's of a book that I didn't care about. Now, if
Oh.
it wasn't that I was like, I'm not going to defend myself from you.
You don't need to. No, I
You were
understand.
about to, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were ready for it.
We're talking about fine art here.
I was at the church, the Roslyn Chapel, where the end of the Da Vinci Code is. Spoilers. There's a scene in a church
chapel.
at the end. Yeah, and it was real cool. There's a little cat named William, and he was very nice. He sat on my lap, and I patted him, and it was very nice. This book is all about the secret plot to hide the descendants of Jesus by a shadowy organization. And they would have gotten away with it if it hadn't been for plucky artist Leonardo da Vinci, who knew he could save the world with art. So there actually is maybe a Da Vinci Code, and this is something that supporters have been like arguing for a really long time.
I don't think you watched the movie, man.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the Da Vinci Code up, down, left, right?
BA start.
That is a Da Vinci Code. Yeah, that's where Konami got that from. So a lot of people point out they're like, well, there's something a little bit strange with the Last Supper. Supporters of this theory being valid point out that the person sitting on Jesus' right is clearly a lady and not one of the disciples. It was always assumed that the disciple John was sitting on Jesus' right. And if you look at the Last Supper, it's like, that's a lady. That's a lady sitting beside Jesus. And they're sitting in kind of a V formation.
Mighty Ducks.
Yeah, just like the flying V. And they're like, maybe this means that the actual Holy Grail is like the womb of that woman. And the woman was alleged to be Mary Magdalene, and this was just a big thing. So perhaps it was Mary Magdalene, and this was a way of hinting that the Holy Grail of yore was in fact her womb, and there was a bunch of divine-blooded children running amok. That's probably where ginger comes from. The special people, probably that's where they came from.
Absolutely. Without a doubt.
The book was never meant to be more than fiction, according to Dan Brown, but it does take a number of its ideas from different sources that have been looking at this cover-up for centuries now. This got enough traction to warrant a specialist task force from the Smithsonian, and they were hired and assembled to dissect the image, the painting itself, for any signs of an actual hidden message. So this is years after the movie came out. the art task force got together. Just imagine how nerdy they would have been, and they all got to like scan over the, and maybe they were all named Art. It's like Art Garfunkel, Art Bell, Art.
All the arts.
Yeah, all the other arts.
Arts assemble.
And so they got to look at it. And one of the guys that was looking at it, he put up this video, and we will include this. We'll include a link to it in the episode description. His name is, this is a great name as well, Mario Taddei. I think is Taddei. Today.
Mario today.
Today. A Mario today.
I'll get to it. Shut up.
He was very quick to point out a few key things in regards to the painting and the hidden meaning of the painting. So, number one, there had literally been hundreds of Last Suppers painted before Da Vinci did his. So this was like a very common thing. Be like, oh, I just want another Last Supper. It's the wagon wheel of its time. Everybody wants to hear it. Number two, there was a format followed upon commission.
That was good. That was good.
When people are like, Leo, we need you to paint the Last Supper. He's like, do you want the traditional way? And they're like, yes, here's your money, do it the traditional way. So he would have been under like certain guidelines to do it. And number three, apostles were often given certain traits so that people knew who was who. For example, Peter is usually holding a knife. Judas is typically holding a bag of coins. And John is often featured as youthful and feminine. You're both very youthful and feminine. And I love looking at you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, man. And so this is it. You're both a couple of Johns.
Go
a couple
on.
of disciple Johns.
Go on.
I didn't say stop.
I didn't say stop.
So if you look at other examples of art, John has been presented as a youthful, feminine-looking man hundreds of times. Today was quoted as saying, "Is this John or Mary Magdalene? Well, it's a very easy question, but it's a very stupid question, because it must be John, because Leonardo had to copy the Last Suppers before him, and John looks like a bloody woman." However, today is quick to point out that he was open to the idea of there in fact being a hidden message in the painting. It just wasn't this messy business of Mary being John. And if John wanted to dress up as a lady, that's fine. We're open to that. We're okay. We don't judge. You know, if that's his thing, that's his journey. Da Vinci's version is missing something that almost every other commissioned portrait of the event had displayed very openly. Do you guys have any idea what it is that they're missing that you might have seen in other paintings?
Bucket of fish.
Not a bucket of fish.
Oh, two buckets.
They were missing their halos.
Halo.
So, yeah. Halo. They didn't have their halos. Yeah.
I think what you were looking for is Halo, more like hail no.
And that's the thing is that we don't really notice this now, but when Da Vinci did it, it would have been like, why didn't you put those halos on the disciples and Jesus? And he would have been like,
man, I ran out of time. I'm sorry, I forgot.
Yeah, and it might have been a comment on his opinions that maybe they were just normal people. Like that's kind of what that's saying, that there was nothing divine or particularly saintly. So that's what Mario today was like. Maybe that could be a hidden message, and that's the deal. So the other day, my daughter was playing with her Ninja Turtles, and I noticed they weren't using their weapons. Are they fighting bare-handed? I asked, and she said, no, they're fighting turtle-handed. Okay.
Also, to comment on that, do you notice, like, in the later movies, like, after the first one that they do, they actually don't use their weapons at all?
Yeah, they never... Yeah, because... Yeah.
I think you brought this up before.
Yeah, unless they're fighting robots. Then they're, like, all chop and heads rolling. Yeah.
Oil splurts all over everything.
Yeah.
Run black with oil.
There's one scene in the first one that I has haunted me a little bit. Have you guys both seen the original Ninja Turtles movie?
Is it when he puts his head in his shell? And
No, that's great.
Because that kind of freaked me out as a kid.
You know how you go in, when they went in down to their little, like, cool kids being recruited bunker, and there's like a big half pipe and the kids are like skateboarding around, and those kids are becoming the foot soldiers. Like that's implied, right? Later on in the movie, one of the Ninja Turtles throws one of the foot soldiers like against the breaker box, and he's like just getting electrocuted. Like, was that a kid?
He's killing kids, man.
Did the Ninja Turtles like?
No, I think the guy actually like hit it with an axe, and then he gets shocked.
Or yeah, like he grabs it, but there is a scene where the guy's like, ah! So yeah,
That's a fair question. I never looked at it that way
Throwing
before.
kids around. I think it's more likely that they just get them while they're young, kind of thing, And then once you got the kids, you don't maybe send them out to deal with the turtles right away. They just
give them some
clan stuff.
yeah,
Then the senior foot
lower tier stuff.
continue.
Yeah, the senior Foot Clan out to do the fighting.
Yeah, I hope so, because that's just and that's not safe. Don't do that.
That's not safe.
Yeah, that's
Also, Casey Jones is a legit psychopath.
oh, but how good is that guy in that movie? The guy that plays him.
I forget his name, but yeah, he's a great Canadian
Yeah.
actor.
Oh, is he Canadian?
He's Canadian, yeah.
Oh, I love him even more. I didn't know that.
Boy, you could really say that first Ninja Turtles film was fine art.
It was. But we digress.
I did love that first one. Got a lot of fond memories. Okay, so I guess Greg, what are we drinking?
What are we drinking?
Well, what are we drinking, boys? I made a cocktail today. Actually, it's called an Americano. It's 1 part Campari, 1 part red vermouth, a splash of soda, and some citrus on ice, and it is scrumdiddlyumptious.
Oh man, I never get that when I order that from the coffee shop.
Yeah, that's a different Americano. Equally delicious. What about you, Andrew? What are you drinking?
I am drinking a glass of water because it's been a hot day and I got to get up early, and I'm just like, I'm at that age now where if I have like a beer, I'm gonna be like, like I can't move in the morning, and yeah. And Charlie's like, oh, that's too bad.
Enjoy. Yep, enjoy your water while I finish off this crispy clear steam whistle Canada Premium Pilsner. Good beer, folks.
They are, nice guys.
Can you
I love the
taste
bottle and I love the design on that can. We should include this since we're talking about art. That we've mentioned it many times that how like the can itself has become this like it puts the can in canvas. And I really love Sea Change, and I'm always talking about them, but like their cans are just little works of art, and it's awesome how like that's become like the craft beer thing is like the can
really
is
super cool
in
art.
itself.
Yeah,
Can makes the beer.
absolutely.
Yeah, nice stuff. Okay, well then that's going to take us to ad number 1. This episode is brought to you by Taproot Edmonton, your source for curiosity-driven coverage of our city cultivated by the community. Taproot has launched a service to answer your questions about Edmonton's response to the COVID-19 pandemic and our experience of it. The idea is to help you understand this complex and quickly evolving topic with succinct, well-sourced answers to any questions you might have. Find the COVID-19 microsite at taprootedmonton.ca. That's taprootedmonton.ca. All right, then, Greg, I believe we have a Mandela Minute. Mandela Minute.
Oh boy, do we ever.
I'm excited, man.
I'm excited. This one actually, I saw this a few months ago, and then when you said we were doing an art episode, I was like, shit, I don't think there are any art Mandela Minutes, but fuck, was I wrong? So, I gotta share my screen with you. Zoom, perfect. All right, so today we're going to be talking about the Thinker.
Oh.
Yeah. So upon looking into this, I found out that there are actually 3 Mandela effects that are attributed to the Thinker. The Thinker is a bronze sculpture by Gustav Rodin, usually placed on a stone pedestal. The work shows a nude male figure of heroic size sitting on a rock with his chin resting on one hand and as though deep in thought, often used as an image to represent philosophy. So another cool thing about the Thinker is it was actually a part of another piece of art called The Gates of Hell. And I couldn't quite find like a really clear photo, but like basically it's this giant gateway and you get to see that he's sitting at the top there in front of like all these different...
Yeah, I'm way into that.
Yeah, like it's super dark and super interesting.
Oh, yeah.
So that was just a little one. The thinker was initially named the poet and was part of that large, the gates of hell, and just kind of sitting there. Was supposed to represent almost like Dante from Dante's Inferno, and just him kind of like contemplating what he had gone through at the end of the story there.
Just having a think. Sitting
Just
down.
having to think.
Little think down.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, moving on. So the first Mandela effect actually has to do with the position of his hand. Where is his hand? On his forehead, or is it on his chin?
I say it's on his chin.
Yeah, it's on his chin. He's resting like,
That is correct. So a lot of people like to think, and like, a lot of people like to pose with it on his forehead, but it's actually on his chin, and it is very contemplative. So I'll just
he is
kinda
one
go back.
ripped dude. Look at that up
is.
close.
He's a badass dude. So you guys are saying that it is on his chin. It is on his chin, but like I said, a lot of people think that it is on his forehead.
Did I
Up on his
like
forehead.
it?
Pardon?
I don't usually think like this. This isn't my thinking position. Like,
No, it's more kind of just like, you know,
oh no.
down in a pensive, kind of very scrupulous kind of thing. The second effect actually also has to do with like where his hand is. Is his hand a closed fist, or is it an open palm hand?
He's fisting.
Because he's fisting.
He's like giving himself an uppercut. Just right in the chin.
He's like open-handed.
Is he
Okay, so yet again, Andrew, you are in the wrong universe.
what?
I'm going to show you the same photo. As you can see there, that his hand is quite open, and then he is resting it on almost like on the first knuckle of his like ring and middle finger.
And he's got his elbow on the opposite leg, like his
On the
right
opposite
arm
leg.
is on the left knee. That's awkward.
Yeah,
This should be called the worst way to think.
the worst way
Gotcha.
to think.
Like you can't think like this.
So, okay, and the third one here is, since I said at the beginning there, actually, that the thinker is a nude model, is the thinker wearing any clothing at all?
Wearing a hat.
I don't remember him wearing ne'er but a scrap.
So he is wearing a hat, and you can see
What?
right there, there's the flap on it, as you can see where my cursor is. There's the flap in the back that's been turned up.
Ow!
Right,
look at
and then
that.
underneath is his hairline, then there's his sideburn, and then there's the rest of the cap.
Hell yeah.
And I'll give you another angle here where there's the actual brim of his cap on the side there.
Weird. That's a weird hat.
That's a real weird hat.
I'm into it.
It's a cap though. You got to kind of think it was being done in like a very like old school kind of way of doing art and stuff. So they were just trying to make it, you know.
Outstanding.
It's his
I'm not an
thinking
art
cap.
person, so I can't really say much. And
It's
then
his-
I think I got another thing of his hat.
Obviously, his thinking cap.
Yeah.
Obviously, his thinking cap.
Yeah.
I thought about this all day, actually.
It is-
This isn't so much a
yeah.
Mandela Minute, but I did find two commercials that IBM put out where they show two different versions of the thinker. So we're gonna watch this one here first.
The thinker and the stinker.
Gross.
Roll him. Zooming out, zooming through a thing. Wall Street. Oh,
No hat.
guy, no hat.
It's actually a closed fist resting on the head.
Face.
They show it a
yeah.
few more times in here as well.
Cubicles, cubicles, cubicles.
It's very 80s.
So there you go. There's an up close version of it, and there's like a watch that it's wearing.
Looking at his Apple Watch.
So I will pause it and just show you guys.
He's got a little, like his hair
So
looks
you can
like
actually see the
brain.
hair. There's
Yeah.
grades of hair. It's a fist, not an open hand.
Yeah, this comes from Andrew's universe.
But that's
Yeah,
definitely his fist is also like up by his eye. He's like,
yeah, and not
like
underneath
I'm
his
just
chin.
having a think, just right in the eye.
So same company, different commercial. You don't really need the audio yet again, but they actually show the right.
A lot later. This seems a lot more modern.
Little conspicuous, or kind of weird that they're doing two different thinkers and they're showing it in two different universes.
Well, how far apart were the
Commercials?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I think one was like 1992, and this one here was 2008.
Okay.
I want to say.
Yeah, yeah. There's time to hop.
The universe
There's
is
time
merged.
there's time there to hop universes, you know.
He definitely has a hat on now that you look at it.
Yeah.
Like he's got it off to the side, just kind of Will Smith style. Just
Yeah. So like I said, this one was kind of interesting. Like there's just so much stuff about it happening, and I thought it was super cool. I can't wait to see what else changes on this this monument in the future.
That's right.
Yeah.
Who's
He's
the
got
artist?
pants
Who's
on?
the artist again?
His name is Augusta Rodin.
what a great name.
So yeah, that's the Mandela Minute for this week, man.
Mandela Minute.
Oh man, that was good, man. All right, Charlie, are you going to share some special Charlie time with us?
Is it my turn?
I think so.
Is it my turn for the real specifics about Salvador Dali?
Without magic, right? I don't know what the devil I would do.
So, hey, how much you guys know about Salvador Dali?
Not much.
Yeah,
Except he had a wicked mustache.
Wicked mustache. Yeah, that definitely comes into play. All right, let's start at the top. A number 1. Was Salvador Dali the reincarnation of his dead brother?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's come in hot and heavy.
Coming in hot, man.
To bring it, baby.
Well, he thought he might be. Before Dali was born, his mother had given birth to another child, also called Salvador Dali. Unfortunately, Salvador version 1.0 died of a stomach infection when he was just 22 months old. 9 months later, exactly 9 months later, Salvador Dali version 2 was born. Since the second Salvador heavily resembled the first and had been born exactly 9 months later, his parents began to harbor a suspicion that he was actually their dead child reborn.
Oh, Jesus.
When Dali was 5, his parents took him to his brother's grave and gave him the 411 on their beliefs that he was the reincarnation of his own dead brother, which had a huge psychological effect on Dali. Much of his later work would contain allusions to the dead child he believed that was the best part of him. So, I just want to start things off real light.
Yeah, sure.
Dude, that's so
That was
bizarre.
awesome. Keep going. Don't stop.
All right, number 2, womb memories. Salvador Dali not only claims to remember the act of being born, he also claims that he has memories of being in the womb and describes the experience as paradise. The intrauterine paradise was the color of hell, that is to say, red, orange, yellow, and bluish, the color of flames, of fire. Above it all was soft, immobile, warm, symmetrical, double, and gluey.
Okay.
Gluey. I fucking, yeah.
Gluey.
That's why we don't remember that part.
Number 3, Avita dollars. So Salvador Dali, like many, many others, loved making money. He was given the nickname Avita dollars, which is both an anagram of Salvador Dali and a reference to his greed. He'd do just about anything to make a buck. Legally, this included designing the famous Chupa Chups lollipop logo and the 1969 logo for the Eurovision Song Contest, and showing up in ads for Lanvin chocolates, brandy, and even Alka-Seltzer. He was also a bit of a con man, in one instance scamming none other than Yoko Ono for $10,000, which she paid him for one single strand of hair from his mustache.
Good for him.
He sent her a dried blade of grass in its place.
Good for him. Oh, man.
Can you imagine her freaking out over that, too? Like the sounds that she would make?
Number 4, some of Dali's famous friends. Dali had a lot of famous friends, spending time hanging out with Elvis, Lennon, Bowie, Picasso, and even Sigmund Freud, but probably his most interesting acquaintance was with rock legend Alice Cooper. In 1973, Salvador Dali heard about Alice Cooper and became fascinated by his stage show, which was in turn partially inspired by Salvador Dali's works. Naturally, the artist asked for a meeting with Alice Cooper and his manager. According to Cooper, Dali turned up wearing a giraffe skin coat, sparkly socks acquired from Elvis, and curly elastic boots. He ordered a cup of hot water, which he proceeded to top up from a jar of honey he kept in his pocket. He then cut the dripping strand of honey with a pair of scissors he kept in his other pocket. Dali was accompanied by an entourage of beautiful teenagers dressed in robes who said nothing.
Oh, darn.
Things got weirder when Dali gave Cooper a plastic... But wait, there's more. Things got weirder when Dali gave Cooper a plastic sculpture of his brain, crowned by a chocolate eclair with real ants running down the middle, and then asked Alice Cooper to model for him. Alice Cooper ended up doing so under armed guard since he was wearing a diamond tiara provided by Dali worth $2 million. At the end of it, Dali had created an amazing revolving hologram of Cooper covered in diamonds and biting the head off of a Venus de Milo statuette. He accompanied this by using lasers to capture a three-dimensional image. Alice Cooper recalls, "I said, 'That's great. When we're done, can I have it?' He said, 'Of course not. It's worth millions.' I just laughed. He had a great sense of humor, but his genius was that you never knew if he was being funny and when he wasn't. Cooper and Dolly's encounter remains one of the greatest artist-musician collaborations in our time. Number 5. My number system going. Did Dali build his own museum? Not only did Salvador Dali build his own museum, he both built and was buried in it. Located in his hometown of Figueres, the project started in the 1960s when the mayor of the small Catalan town asked Dali to donate a piece of art to the city museum. Dali decided to do much more than that, transforming the town's almost completely destroyed theater into the Dali Theater and Museum. The museum officially opened in 1974, but Dali continued to expand the museum and even lived there during the final years of his life. After his death in 1989, he was buried under the stage. Today, the museum draws more than 1 million visitors a year who flock to see the largest collection of Salvador's work. And finally, number 6, to bring it back to you, Greg, what about his mustache? Trademark mustache remains intact to this very day. July 2017, Salvador's body was exhumed as part of a paternity suit brought on by a woman who claimed to be his daughter. She wasn't. The paternity suit found out she was not, but it did reveal one surreal discovery. A Spanish artist's mustache still remains perfectly groomed. I was eager to see him, and I was absolutely stunned. It was like a miracle, says Narcisse Bordelat, who was in charge.
Okay, sorry, what is that person's name? I'm sorry, you can't just...
Narcisse.
It was like a miracle, says Narcisse Bardalat, who was in charge of embalming Dali's body. His mustache appeared 10 past 10 exactly, and his hair was intact. That's
Salvador.
the real specifics about Salvador Dali.
That was Dali-ful.
So when I started writing these facts, I got hip to the book. He wrote his own autobiography.
Oh, boy.
Available for borrowing from the public library app Hoopla. So I've been working my way through that, and whoo boy, it's a real fun time in there.
And he died in 1989. Mm-hmm. That's wild, man.
That's right.
I thought it was longer ago. I thought it was
much longer ago.
Longer ago. That doesn't sound like the right way to say that. Okay. Anyways, thank you, Charlie. That was fantastic. That's going to take us to ad number 2. Boop.
Hi, I'm Emily.
And I'm Brienne, and together we make Emily Missed Out, a podcast where Emily and I dig into the long list of films that she hasn't seen yet.
It's a very long list.
Totally long list. And help her catch up on all of the pop culturally relevant lines, characters, scenes, and tropes that she may have missed out on.
We're also a proud member of the Alberta Podcast Network, powered by ATB. You can find us online at albertapodcastnetwork.com or wherever you find your podcasts. Join us for my pop culture education.
Yeah.
Okay, so in lieu of opinion time today, I just thought I got a couple quick art questions here for you guys. So it doesn't have to be anyone that we've discussed tonight, but who's your favorite artist, or who's your favorite, like what's your favorite piece of art? Like, let's just say either way, where you're like, I like this person, or I like that painting, or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah.
Andrew, who's your favorite artist or piece of art?
If you show me yours, I'll show you mine.
Okay, I will show you mine. I don't know if this person is my favorite. It's always weird to be like, my favorite artist, my favorite piece of art. Like, it's a hard thing to say. But one of my favorites was I got to read a bunch of stuff about this guy when I was a kid. His name is Ted Harrison. He was born in England, and he spent most of his life in Canada, lived up in the Yukon Territories, and he did a lot of paintings about the Arctic, Northern Lights, and Inuit life and stuff like that. His most famous work is probably the illustration of Robert Service's poem, The Cremation of Sam McGee, and it's very cool. Actually, can I share, Charlie?
Loud.
So they're beautiful, they're all kind of in this style of like very colorful. You know, the people look like shapes. It's got a real kind of Group of Seven or Van Gogh or Picasso kind of vibe to it. I think a lot of art did at the time, but like he, very cool, very stylized. Like everything he did sort of had this same kind of color scheme, but
goodbye.
I think it's incredible, and I love it so much.
There's
one that I really like. This one looks very comic bookish, but it's about when the trapper, the guy that burns Sam McGee's body. This is from the story, and like the color scheme and everything here, just awesome.
Got some like some kind of like acidy vibes to it with the colors. I like that how vivid they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, beautiful. Very, very cool. And one of the other paintings that I wanted to point out that I really, really liked was the crows in a cornfield or whatever it is that Van Gogh did. He like finished the painting, went upstairs and shot himself. So I hate to sound morbid, but that is fascinating that like the last thing he did was like make this kind of painting that looked...
I got to finish this painting first.
Yep. So let me just wrap this up here.
Well, almost
then
done.
I'll step outside and just... and troubled guy, so he obviously had a lot of problems.
Van Gogh.
Van Gogh. Yeah, actually, we say Van Gogh, but a lot of places say Van Gogh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. This one.
Oh,
here,
yeah. Yeah.
So he did this, and then he ran upstairs. Well, I don't think he ran upstairs. And okay, we're done. Go quick. Yeah.
Whoops.
So it's sad, but it's a very like there's something very beautiful and very sad about that picture.
Sure.
I guess, Greg, what is your picture artist or art picture?
I don't really I don't think I have like a favorite piece of art, but I do have a favorite artist. It's David Cho. He's based out of LA. I'm going to show you guys some of his art as well. That's okay. I came to discover him actually when he was on like I think it's No Reservations, like Anthony Bourdain, and he did like an actual portrait of Bourdain. So he's known for like a lot of street art and his watercolor work, and he's actually most famously known for doing the paintings in the original Facebook headquarters.
Oh,
cool.
Yeah. So instead of taking money for it, they actually gave him shares in Facebook, and when Facebook made it huge, he actually like became a millionaire overnight.
yes. That's taking money
wild,
from their
man.
pockets.
So yeah, like he does like a lot of crazy wild stuff. I'm trying to remember the name. Like he got really well known for like his whale. I think it's called Muncho or something like that. Munco. Yeah, there we go.
Munco.
And it's just basically like this giant bucktooth whale that he used to like paint all over like LA and
I love the one with the elephant legs. Yeah.
over there and right there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, he's really off the wall, and he's just not just an artist. He does performance art. He had like one of the biggest like podcasts back in the day. It was like DVD and ASA with like the porn star. I forget her name. I think it's actually Asa. But he's just a really interesting, cool guy, and does really good art.
Hanging out with Ninja in that one picture.
Yep. Actually, he he was arrested in Japan, I think, for assaulting a police officer there. He did 3 months in their jail, and that's where he ended up perfecting like his watercolor, because he just had nothing other to do than to like do watercolor. Yeah. So yeah, that's David Cho, man. He's super cool. Check him out.
That's very cool.
I've not seen his stuff before, I don't think.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Charles, what about you, my man?
Ooh, for me, I would say as far as like a favorite artist or something like that goes, I mean, Dolly's definitely up there because Alex me the surreal stuff. But I would say that of all the artists, getting the opportunity to see the Van Gogh Museum when I was out in Belgium and the Netherlands, and it's one thing to see pictures of the pictures, but to see them in real life is when you're like, oh, holy shit, I get it. Before that was like a picture of a sunflower, but to see the depth in person, you're like, wow, that's real life changing. That's real like, okay, all right, this is good stuff.
Yeah.
Now, as far as my favorite painting goes, oh man, I love this one, and I am so happy to get to share it with you guys.
It's a self-portrait.
No, it's not.
It's probably just a picture of him in his lederhosen.
Oh, you've shown us this before. This is such a
super cool
fascinating
stuff, man. Yeah.
So you got to give us a little background on this here. Sorry, man. Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah, Hieronymus Bosch, The Garden of Earthly Delights. It's a three-panel triptych. And it goes through basically on the far left is like paradise, and the middle is kind of like sort of like purgatory or sort of like, working through stuff. And then on the far right, it's nothing good's happening down there. That's definitely torture. And the detail in this painting is
unreal.
Does this zoom in for you guys? Can you see?
Yeah.
Yep.
Can you see the bird
Plagueis.
eating this body, and also which there are birds flying out of his butt?
I was gonna say, like, I think
The
there's
hurdy-gurdy behind him, like just torturing people with the sound of the hurdy-gurdy.
You could look at this painting for hours and always find something new, and always find some cool new stuff.
When is it made?
When was it made? Let's see. Let's go back to the...
And what another amazing name. Hieronymus
Bosch.
Bosch. Like come on.
Great Bosch.
You know? And then you get Dan Brown. You're like, get out of here, Dan. Come here, Hieronymus Bosch.
It was painted between 1490 and 1510. So,
because man, if you look at the right side of that, with that like the burning buildings in the background, that looks very World War II bombing of London kind of. Like
I thought you were gonna say like now.
That's very ahead of its time. And like this one here, like it looks like a flag on top of that little spaceship there, or whatever it is. That's a wild painting.
This is a person because there's the face here, and then there's.
I wouldn't be surprised if this person also had some issues.
So that's the one that I love the most.
I dig it. That's a good choice.
Oof, I would get a giant ass size print of that and put it up in my house. That would be brilliant.
Knuckle tats.
Yeah. And get another tattoo on your neck beside that big dragon you have there. Now this one's a little bit harder to do, but what do you guys? I know we talked about it earlier, but a cool aesthetic that you guys really like that isn't typically considered art. So like an example would be if someone's like, I don't know, like a cheesy cliche example would be like, I like 50s diners. Like that's kind of an aesthetic, but it's something that you personally like that isn't usually considered like great art.
My dad's a big car guy, but one thing that I've always really liked are people that don't restore like the original paint. They just leave it rusted and finish it that way. And it's got that wicked patina where you got the original color, and then there's the rust, and then you got the raw kind of steel feel to it. And man, to me, like that look, it's very like steampunk. You know what I mean?
Oh,
yeah, that is.
So
very
I would
cool.
say, yeah, steampunk is an aesthetic that I think is super underappreciated.
Yeah, it's having a bit of a renaissance, but yeah, no, I think you're right. The one that if you want me to go, Charlie, the one that I really have a soft spot for, and if you guys have listened back to other episodes, you'll recognize it immediately.
You dialing up an example. Here it comes.
Yeah. Okay, so it's not just the visuals; it's the audio as well. The early Nintendo stuff I just find just like super, super cool. I love the color schemes, and the music is incredible. You guys hear that? Yeah. So it's very simple, but it's very, very cool. And like I've done things where I've like started reading, and I'll put something like this on, like an hour of Nintendo music, and my wife comes down and she's like, "Are you insane? Like just listening to that to relax?"
Insane.
And but it's beautiful. And when you
come down thinking that you're just like, "Are you playing video games?
Are you playing Punch Out? Are you playing Excite Bike? Are you playing Paperboy down there?" And that it's just a very cool kind of geeky aesthetic, but I think it's cool.
Speaking of geeky aesthetics, I know what I can throw on top of this fun pile right here. Retro-Futurism.
Oh.
The way that they used to think that the future would look in like the 50s and 60s, and they're like, oh no, the future is totally going to be like flying cars and all these like awesome pointy buildings and all this amazing design.
It was a very minimalist design too.
It was a lot. It was very minimalist, and there was a lot of like, if you were inside houses or whatever, there are flat TV screens hidden behind walls and shit like that.
Your exterior walls are all windows and
so good. If I could live in a reality that looked like this, it would be brilliant.
You know, it's funny, man. This makes me think of those movies, The Incredibles. Like that's the aesthetic there.
Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow.
Yeah. Stuff like that is very cool.
Look at these floating cities. Beautiful. Where's my floating city? Damn it.
I think they're trying to get one on like some planet in our solar system. I forget which one.
Look at these.
Is
Venus?
it Uranus?
Flying ships with giant spikes on them and stuff. Yep, that's what I'm into.
Freaking laser beams.
Freaking laser beams.
And jetpacks. Can you guys imagine? Just be like, oh, I'm off to the shop. Get my jetpack on.
They're
I have to burn my legs off. Oh no, my legs. Well, that's very cool. I love this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Talking about neat things is neat.
One time.
Time and space car. Like,
look at those glasses.
He's surprised
for the rest of the evening.
Yeah,
with
those
what I'm
X-ray
gonna be looking at the
glasses.
entire time.
Well, let me lie on your couch so you can paint me like one of your French girls. Wasn't that a good time? Twas a good time. We really do appreciate you stopping by for a listen, and please feel free to rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend, tell your neighbor, tell your foes. Spread the good word like vanilla in the shore skies of Yellowknife in the summer. You can check out all of our past casts and social media stuff at it'saconspiracypodcast.com, and we will be back very soon with our vinyl special. So thanks for listening, and take care.
Yeah, bye.
When I had my class, I say, I put you in jail. Don't put all that. See what? Isn't that round?